So the Houston Texans this past week fired head coach and general manager Bill O'Brien. And I honestly saw this coming at some point. I actually said during the offseason that Bill O'Brien should have been fired after the Kansas City Chiefs debacle in the playoffs versus Patrick Mahomes, in which the Houston Texans lost that game 51-31. I mean, that's just an embarrassing loss. And I am so happy that Bill O'Brien is officially out the building for the Houston Texans. This was long overdue, people. Like I said earlier, Bill O'Brien, he should have been fired a long time ago. He overstayed his welcome in Houston. Now, why did Bill O'Brien fail as a head coach with the Texans? Why did he disappoint from time to time? Because honestly, the fact that the Houston Texans did not get to an AFC title game, not one time, that's underachieving in Houston. It just is. It's underachieving. Why did he fail? Well, I think that Bill O'Brien sort of became Mike McCarthy 2.0 over time. And Bill O'Brien, he won a playoff game in the past with Brock Osweiler being his starting quarterback. Brock Osweiler, not a good quarterback. Bill O'Brien, he's not an awful head coach. The only problem is there comes a point in time where you just need to switch things up. You just need to switch things up from time to time. And Bill O'Brien, his system got stale. He didn't evolve as a head coach. And he kind of became Mike McCarthy 2.0, where once he got a legit franchise quarterback in Deshaun Watson, he became way too reliant on Deshaun Watson's talents. And Bill O'Brien did not change up his game enough as a head coach. He did not evolve enough. Very similar to how Mike McCarthy just solely relied on Aaron Rodgers' talent to take him over the top. He felt that if I have Aaron Rodgers, I can do no wrong. That's the same thing with Bill O'Brien. He felt that because he had Deshaun Watson, he could do no wrong. And the team continued to disappoint, not from lack of talent. The talent was there in Houston. Houston had good defenses. They had a very talented wide receiver core last year. Deshaun Watson's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL as far as I'm concerned. At worst, a top 10 quarterback. He's not the problem. The problem with Houston the last couple of years as to why they've disappointed has been due to terrible coaching, bad coaching. Since 2014, keep this in mind, people, every single team in the AFC South, which is the Houston Texans division, has made an AFC title game except the Houston Texans. That's pretty sad. The Colts have made an AFC title game since 2014. The Jaguars have made one. And what's the other team? It was the Colts, the Jaguars. Oh, the Titans last year. The Titans, they made the AFC title game as well. With the amount of talent that Houston has had on their roster the last 5 to 6 seasons, that's a major disappointment. It just is. And Bill O'Brien, for his career, he's 2-4 in the playoffs. His average playoff loss is by over 21 points, which tells you that he's losing by over 3 scores on a per average basis, per game average basis. He's losing by 3 scores. It's just bad, man. And Bill O'Brien, he's not a very good high leverage decision maker. He doesn't make enough adjustments. He's just not very organized. But also, Bill O'Brien took on the ownership of being the general manager of the Houston Texans. And Bill O'Brien being so wrapped up in general manager duties, I truly believe that it hurt his ability to be a great head coach once again. He never was a great head coach, but it hurt his ability to be a head coach that evolves over time. It hurt him because there were reports that Bill O'Brien wasn't even a part of the offensive install for his team until the very last minute because he was so wrapped up in general manager duties. He would actually roll in on Saturdays, change the entire game plan the day before a game because NFL teams usually play on Sundays, okay? And that's a big reason why Houston usually started off games slow because when your head coach is rolling in on Saturdays and changing the entire game plan the day before you go out there and play teams on Sundays, That's a problem for your team. And this guy, Bill O'Brien, traded away DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson. That was one of the worst trades I've ever seen. And listen, Kenny Stills, Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, they're good wide receivers. They're not DeAndre Hopkins. This offense this year in Houston has suffered because DeAndre Hopkins is no longer there. A number one wide receiver that can go out there and beat Marlon Humphrey, that can go out there and beat Tre'Davious White, that can go out there and beat the best cornerback on the opposing team, that's a very valuable asset. And I don't think Bill O'Brien really got that memo. And the amount of talent that has come and gone from Houston's roster the last couple of seasons is kind of mind-boggling to me. You know, Jadeveon Clowney, Dwayne Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyrann Mathieu. These guys are no longer on the team. And these guys are thriving in other cities and with other franchises. So, again, Bill O'Brien, he needed to get fired. I'm happy that he's gotten fired finally just because he had done way more damage than good for Houston's franchise. So many poor decisions as general manager. So many badly coached football games. So many times his team was unprepared. So many times the Houston Texans underperformed because of lack of great coaching. And ultimately, Bill O'Brien overstayed his welcome in Houston. Firing Bill O'Brien was the right decision for Houston. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God-blessed day, and I'm out.